This is a story about a most amazing pair of shoes. Here we are, look, they're MEPHISTO's, and I look up when I actually bought these shoes, but they've been resold 5 times. Let's just turn them over. There's the sole. And they're still not really worn out, look, that's the 5th go. MEPHISTO shock absorbing airbag system, so they're a bit like those Dr. Martens on the inside. You see this shock thing here at the bottom? Trouble is, I'm bad on the heels, look, I've worn the heel out, as you can see here. I've taken the heel down, so you know it's not good for walking, but they're still okay for casual use. But the welt here, where the leather joins the sole, that's where it's been changed. So I've had new soles on 5 times on these tops, and they're still good. They're one of the most comfortable pairs of shoes I have ever had. This is a story about a pair of shoes. It's strange, isn't it? But in the early 1990s, Ruth bought me a pair of shoes. We just happened to be in Beverley in East Yorkshire, been to see my aunt and uncle who lived just north of Beverley, and we just noticed in the centre of the town this quite attractive looking country wear shop. So we went and had a look round, and Ruth must have been feeling fairly generous because she bought me this pair of shoes which I really took a fancy to, and a Barber type coat. It wasn't an actual Barber, it's something like it, but it lasted a long time. It was pretty good. So these shoes I bought, or had bought for me, in the beginning of the 1990s, and during all the time after that I worked with the horses at Northcote. I didn't muck out in these shoes, I mean they were too good for that, but so I always mucked out in wellies. But I'm just trying to keep my hands away from the microphone on the table and whatever, so I don't bonk it and make a noise. So once we finished mucking out in the morning and it was time for visitors to come, visitors came about 11 o'clock. We started the programme where they met the big horses. It was quite unique, and they had a talk to start with and everything. So I wore these shoes, and so all the rest of the day I wore the shoes while I was working with the horses. Anything and everything I was doing, I wore them on days out as well. I wore them virtually all the time. They didn't take a lot of breaking in. They were so comfortable. They were easy to lace up, as you can see. Yeah, they were absolutely brilliant. The soles are very comfortable too. I like leather shoes, but I must admit that nowadays I have gone for something, you know, these more modern ones with soft insoles and that kind of thing. They are quite nice. So these leather shoes, right, so when the time came, they're starting to get worn out. I used to keep them clean. And I was looking for somewhere. They're MEPHISTO shoes. Now MEPHISTO's are made in Germany. They're not cheap. I think in the early 1990s they cost over £100, which was, you know, the sort of shoes you, oh wow, you know, you think twice because of the cost. But they do say you pay for what you get. Now these shoes, I've still got them. Say it was 1991, 92, 91, 2001, 2011, 2021. So that I've had them about 33 years. Same pair of shoes. And I still wear them. 33 years. But of course they had to be repaired. Now MEPHISTO, I don't know if they still do this, but at the time you could send the shoes back and have them resold back at the factory. And I found this shop at Barton-on-Humber, the MEPHISTO dealers. The chap was a bit sort of strict, and the first time I took them in, he refused them. He said they weren't clean enough. mean, you've seen the shoes on the pictures, and they were, well, they weren't quite as clean as that, but they weren't mucky, you know. Anyway, he says, well, you can't send those back. He says, they've got to be clean, you know. He said, yeah, the standards, you know. So I took them home. Barton-on-Humber is 65 miles from home, so I learnt my lesson with that. I did go back and buy some more shoes off him though. Right, so he eventually sent them away, and I can't remember what they cost. Say the shoes cost £100, they probably cost £30 or £40 to be resold. But with that, you got a new pair of shoes. And the uppers, you can see the uppers were real quality. I mean, those uppers are 33 years old, and they're still brilliant. Again, you've got to keep them clean and well polished, obviously, feed the leather. And I kept wearing them out and taking them back, and I took them back a 5th time to the shop in Barton-on-Humber, and he said, now look, he said, the factory has told me that they will do it this time, but they will not do any more. You have to buy some new shoes. I mean, there's a limit to how many times they will resole your shoes. I know it's a good advert for MEPHISTOs and all that kind of thing, but 5 times on the same uppers, you know, you'd think they'd use it as an advert, wouldn't you, for how good the shoes are. I mean, the soles, really, you can't wear the soles out. It's the heels, as you can see. I wear the heels down, and with walking on them a lot and being out in the open and up and down off the vehicles and working around the horses and things, they got well hammered, but they're still going, and I still use them. If I feel like I'm going out for the day and I'm maybe going to a country fair or something, and I want something comfy that I can walk in for a fair distance without any problem, those are the shoes I choose, even today. And I've got some nice shoes, but not as nice as these. And I've bought MEPHISTO since. I've got another pair actually that are quite good, that are almost equally as good, and they were bought at a similar time. But the shoes I've bought since then haven't been a patch. I've just seemed to have got the shoes that suit you. You know, you folks there that have bought shoes that you like and you get on with and they're comfy, and boy, you can't beat that feeling, you know, of having comfy shoes, not pinching your toes, and everything's just right. These are those shoes. So there we are, a short tale about a pair of shoes that I've still got. MEPHISTO. I think they still make this model, but why should I buy another pair of the same model? Because I've got these, haven't I? Anyway, now's the time when I'm not going to wear them out anymore, because I'm not working, am I? But a remarkable pair of shoes, and the fact that the factory resold them 5 times, I think was even more remarkable. What else can I say? Brilliant. So thank you for being with us. Very short story. Looking on the thing now, it's only 7 minutes. If you like it, please give us a like. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm going to try and find something that says subscribe earlier on, because a lot of folks don't watch to the very end, you know. Have a look at Cracker Books, the things that we produce, lots and lots of interesting things to look at, and they're all free to download. Have a good look round, and until the next time, might be a story about more shoes. Cheerio.